Okay, how's everybody doing? Let me do my usual thing and get some people invited to get in here while we talk briefly about some very serious things that are going on in the community as usual. That is my thing. That is my thing. That is my thing. The black community, black children, black women, black elders, and of course, our black brothers. My thing, my whole thing is how to move our people forward in a unified fashion that's going to put us in a position to win. If you did not know, let me be the first to tell you that we are most certainly not winning. I don't care what anyone says about how much business success they are having. Individual success means nothing when you are up against systems that have been in place for 200 plus years that are working against your forward advancement and progress. You may think that you are winning, but in the grand scheme of not winning. If you're not trying to power for your people, or you're not a part of a movement or associated with a movement that's trying to build power for your people, then you are moving you're going backwards, because those that are organized against us are most certainly moving forward in a unified fashion to ensure that the power they currently have, they keep. So if we're going to ever win, if we're going to ever put our children in a position moving forward to not become permanent second-class citizens, but to be in positions of power, if we're ever going to be able to own and control our environment, take care of our people, put some things in place that's going to allow us to live with dignity, in peace in this country, as well as around the world, we're going to have to change some things. And that change has to begin with not only each individual black person, but it has to also begin with the way we think. And I do not expect us to change the way we think and just all of a sudden be a new people. Oh, sorry about that, Mr. Taylor. Be a new people automatically. The way that we think, the way that we live, how we operate, move, function, all of that is a result of us having gone through 400 actual and over 3,000 cumulative years. If you were to add up all the stuff that we've been through in this country, it would be over 3,000 years of anti-black acts of terror. Cumulative and consecutive. No people is going to go through that kind of trauma and come out of it okay. Most people, as history have proven, most people of color, melanated peoples, groups of people that had color, that came into contact with, sorry about that, Mr. Deagle, came into contact with Europeans or Caucasians, were destroyed or wiped out. But here we are, standing as erect as we can be after having gone through so much. And we most certainly didn't come out of it whole. We didn't come out of it unscathed. We didn't come out of it unbroken. But we did come out of it, which means to me that the only thing that can stop us is us. If you can go through what white America and this American government has put us through and come out of it on the other end, living and breathing, then that says that, my God, these are a powerful people who have come out of the wilderness. So we want to understand who we are. We want to understand our strengths. And we most certainly want to understand that anything we need to accomplish to move ourselves forward is going to come from us. It's not going to come from the outside. Nobody's coming to save black people. No one is delivering solutions for black people. No one is going to show black people how to build power for black people because they want to keep that power for themselves. No white organization, I'll say no organization, period, is going to give a black nonprofit what it needs to build power to move black people forward in a unified fashion. We are on our own. And yeah, it's unfair. Excuse me, but it's the reality of being black in America. We didn't create the chaos that exists in and around our communities. And if you know anything about American history as it relates to African American people, descendants of slaves, black people in this country, if you know anything about American history as it relates to us, then you know we have been through levels of trauma that most people are completely and totally ignorant of. They look at the black community the way that it exists right now in 2019 and think, what's wrong with those people? Why do they act this way? Why do they act that way? Why don't they do this? Why don't they just do that? Why don't they organize this way? Why do they act that way? If you've gone through what we've gone through, then you would understand why we do what we do and why we behave the way we behave, why we think the way we think. But of course, most people and our own people have no idea what we've been through. The things that have been done to black people in this country are absolutely barbaric, inhumane, evil. And it happened a lot. The things that were stolen from us, the things that were done to our physical bodies, the trauma that's been inflicted on our psychology, our psyche, the spiritual degradation that we lack. We've gone through hell in this country, but we're still here. And to me, the fact that we're still here means something. We have to get serious about what we're up against in America. We have to get serious about putting our children in positions to win. If you are trying to merely get your child through trade school and or college so they can get a job, that is not the answer. Because chances are, more often than not, they're going to be working for someone that's not black, that's not melanated, that's going to control them with the paycheck, with their income. That's how they control us. That's how it makes it very difficult for us to be publicly black, because they will say, they might not say it directly, but they'll say with their actions, sit down, nigga, shut up, if you want this paycheck. And most of us, because we need the paycheck, we sit down and we shut up. But we don't have to. We can most certainly put things in place right now in 2019, whereby 10 to 12 years from now, every child who's of age 10 to 12 years from now to go out and get a job or go to college or graduate from college, they don't have to be in a position where they're being told to sit down and shut up. Sit down, nigga, shut up, or you're going to lose your job, because they will be working for and employed by the black nation. We have to understand our power, and we have an extreme amount of it in multiple ways, on multiple levels, in multiple avenues. We're intellectually powerful. We're energetically powerful. We're economically powerful. We're most certainly spiritually powerful. But we don't know that because we don't know who we are. We're not organized, which is why we're always behind the 8 ball when something happens. We don't communicate with one another, which is one of the reasons why we make so many mistakes, because we're not trying to find black people who know what they're doing in key areas. And we keep doing the same thing that we've been doing since we've had the right to do it, whatever it is. We keep marching. We keep boycotting. We keep protesting. We get upset and angry, burn down our communities. And what's so sad about it, and we vote. What's sad about it is that we are complaining to the people that did it to us. Whatever has us pissed off, we're demanding justice from those that did it. If we had power on multiple levels, then we wouldn't have to demand anything. One phone call will be made and somebody would say, you either fix this or there are going to be ramifications and repercussions to whatever just happened. And those ramifications and repercussions will come in the form of some kind of legal move, a lawsuit, some kind of economic move. We're not buying your stuff. Some kind of physical move. We might picket, we might boycott. Some kind of spiritual move. And we are very spiritually powerful. We put some things in the energy field and some other stuff happen. We have to put ourselves in a position to win. We have to understand that we have some very real threats and enemies in this country that have been organizing for our demise for a very long time. African Americans in this country, melanated people, descendants of slaves, black people. Our communities, where most of us live, where black people live, are surrounded and overrun with predators. We have to understand that those things that happen to black people happen on purpose. This country spends billions of dollars every single year to build up other countries' infrastructure. If they cared about black life, they'd build up the infrastructure in the inner city. But they don't, because they don't care. Our solutions exist within our problems. We need institutions. We have money to buy institutions. We need people that know what they're doing to run the institutions. We have money to pay those people, and those people exist. We need ways to protect those people and those physical institutions. We have the resources to hire, train, equip, and protect those people and those physical institutions. We have to understand that in 2019, we have some very real issues that only we can deal with because no one else cares to do so. We have to organize ourselves in a fashion to take advantage of the economic power that we have. Black people in America, just in America alone, as you guys probably already know, because you've heard it God knows how many times, we spend more money on stuff than than several small nations around the world. Black people in America spend more money on stuff than the gross domestic product for several small nations around the world. Which means what? We are a nation unto ourselves. But we don't think that way. Because we're not thinking about what we can do, we're thinking about why we can't do it. We're not thinking about what's possible, we're thinking about what is impossible. Or we're thinking about our belief that something is impossible. We have been declared inferior. That is a myth. We are not inferior. White supremacy is a myth. They are not superior. But if we believe, Carter G. Woodson said in his book, Miseducation of the Negro, that if you can control a man's mind, you don't have to tell him to go through the back door. He'll build one himself because he believes that he is backdoor worthy. If we're going to change our condition, we have to change the way we think. But that's not going to be a simple process of saying, okay, I'm going to think differently, because we have 400 actual and over 3,000 cumulative years of conditioning that we got to work through. So if a conditioning process made us the way that we are, then it's going to be a reconditioning process that gets us back to being the people that we're supposed to be. We have very real threats that we need to confront and face and deal with in this country because no one else is going to. I don't know if Purge, if you guys have seen the movie Purge, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it, especially the first one. I think it's called The First Purge. And it's a movie about America saying that we need to curb the violence in the country. So for 12 hours, we're going to let people do whatever they want to do. Rape, murder, kill, whatever. They can do whatever. And they're purging, they're allowing people to get their anger and frustration out. And they're supposedly purging the population of the bad people. And it's interesting. And I don't know if a purge is happening in the black community. But what I do know is that there's purge activity. Some people will say that there is most certainly a purge. We are in it right now. I don't know. I don't have enough data. But there's purge activity. There are judges and high-level attorneys having been shot in the back of the head more than once. Some come up missing. Black scientists missing. Black men, brothers being hung from trees, especially in Ferguson. A lot of the brothers that were leading the protest in Ferguson, a lot of those brothers are gone. I'm not sure if any sisters are gone, but I know brothers are. Sisters are being found with their organs missing. Children are either coming up missing and being found with their organs missing. White people have Hollywood caliber masks that looks like a black person, and they have gloves so you can't tell that they're not a black person. It looks like a black person. They're committing crimes, and the police are looking for black people. These things are becoming more and more prevalent in America's inner cities. I don't know if there is a purge. I'm not sure if someone has said, go do the purge. But there's purge activity. As black people, if we're going to win, we got to understand that that's purge activity. And we got to connect the dots to understand that's purge activity. We got to be smart and analyze the landscape as it relates to what's going on. We have to produce as a national body, as a national group, a SWOT analysis, SWOT, a strength, weaknesses, opportunities and threats assessment of every black community in this country. We got to know where we're strong, where we're weak, where there are opportunities and where there are threats. If there are groups of people moving in and around the community doing things that are bad, then we have to stop that because no one else is going to do so. Ain't nobody coming to save black people. Ain't nobody coming to save our women. Don't nobody care about our children. Nobody gives a damn about our elders. And you know how they feel about black men. Afraid. If that is going to change, it's going to be us that changes it. But how do you change it? The Black Girl Movement, we're not just an organization that talks about stuff. We have plans and people in place that know how to do stuff. And that stuff is the things that we need to do to change the power dynamic on the ground around the country in every black city where we have people in large numbers. If there is a purge underway, then how do you push back against that? If there is physical activity to do harm to the black mind, the black body, the black spirit, and the black psyche, how do you push back against that? First off, you have to understand what the threats are. You have to have people that have the ability to critically analyze the data and the information and the intelligence and come up with a solution based on that data, that information, that intelligence. You have to have people that those that analyze the data, they can give that data to someone. They can say, I understand what this is. I see what you're saying. So let's put some things in place to push back against these very real threats to our black minds, bodies, spirits, and psyches. If there's an organized effort to move against black people right now in 2019, then the only solution is to push back against the threat. No man is going to allow someone else to assault his family without doing every single thing he can to stop that assault. No mother is going to allow anybody to hurt her children without trying to do every single thing she can to push back against whatever is trying to harm her children. And I don't care how old you are, how old your kids get, you're always going to be that way. Talking about pushing back is ridiculous. It's a joke. If we're going to push back in an organized fashion, we have to be organized in the pushback. We have to understand that we have strengths in multiple areas that we need to utilize so that we can push back in an intelligent fashion. If there is physical purge activity in and around the community, then we need to know what's going on so we can physically push back. How do you physically push back? You have your own security. How can we have our own security, Tamani? We can't afford that. But can't we? The movie Black Panther that I'm always talking about, we gave that movie over $500 million, $500 million in 1 month. We still have that money. We need to get our people on track to give that money so that we can protect ourselves. If there is a physical move in and around our communities, there's an organized threat, then the only answer is to organize and meet the threat. Everything we need, we already have. There are people like myself in and around the country who have military experience that have been trained to do stuff, that can train other people to do stuff that other people do. I've met some white supremacists in the military. They take their training very seriously. They go into the military for the training, get out, join the police force, assault, terrorize, kill black people, and train their people on what they learned in the military. $500 million a month, which is $250 million less than we gave the movie Black Panther. $500 million a month is $6 billion a year. Last year, the largest private military in the world was valued at $1 billion because it was for sale. $500 million minus $250 million is what we gave to a movie. $500 million we gave to a movie in 1 month. In a year, that's $6 billion. The largest private military in the world was valued at $1 billion. We have black people that know how to train troops. We have black people that know how to train units. We have black people that can train black people how to work and move and communicate in silence and in groups. Everything we need, we already have. We have the intellectual capital. We got the physical capital. We have the economic capital. We have the spiritual capital. All we need is to make the decision to organize ourselves, communicate with ourselves, so we can put ourselves in a position to win. That's not going to happen by talking. That's not going to happen by posting on social media. And that's not going to happen by trying to make some damn video go viral. Because, oh my God, look at what they've done. Let's make it go viral. We can be so silly at times. So while we're wasting time talking about crap that does not matter, those that oppose us, those that want to see us in cages, those that want to make us permanent underclass citizens, those that want to incarcerate our children, they are continually organizing while we're arguing about crap that doesn't matter. We have to get serious about organizing ourselves to move forward. None of us are safe. We've never been safe. Since the time they kidnapped us and put us on that ship, we've never been safe. And we walked off that ship, not as slaves. Engineers got off that ship. Doctors got off that ship. Intellectuals got off that ship. Kings and queens and royalty got off that ship. Community leaders and community members got off that ship. Warriors and soldiers got off that ship. Spiritualists and medicine men and women, doctors got off that ship. We're not those persons anymore right now because of what we've been through. But we still have the ability to be those people. Because everything that made us those people is still within us. Black genius is born every single day. Black exceptionalism is born every single day. Black leaders are born every single day. Name your black hero or shero, and the spirit of that person lives in a community somewhere in this country right now. And it's being targeted for destruction. Little Malcolm X, Little Malcolm Little is out there somewhere. Martin Luther King Jr. out there somewhere. Harriet Tubman, Angela Davis out there somewhere. Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad out there somewhere. Louis Farrakhan is out there somewhere. Little Albert Klieg is out there somewhere. And all of them are being targeted for destruction. And the only solution to ensure that the target is not eliminated is to put some things in place to protect the target. From the time our children are born, they are targeted to be in someone's cage. The private prison industry is $1 billion industry. There are rural towns and communities that are depending upon the incarceration of people so that their town can live and thrive. The black community is surrounded with and overrun and inundated with predators, people, individuals, groups, organizations, institutions that don't care about the black mind, the black body, the black spirit, and the black psyche. If we as adults in 2019, if we know that, and we don't do anything to stop that, then we are complicit in the crime. If we know better, we have to do better. The Black Gold Movement is an umbrella organization because we understand that we don't have time to reinvent anybody's wheel. So if there's a black wheel out there that's rolling, we want to find that wheel, support that wheel, so that wheel can be bigger, better, and stronger, which in turn makes us bigger, better, and stronger. We don't have time to reinvent any wheels. We have about 8 to 10 years to lay a foundation that's going to be solid enough so that we can build something for our children moving forward. We have 8 to 10 years to put something in place that we can build something that's going to put our children in a position to win, to be in communities that have influence, value, and power, so that a 100-year plan will have 90 years left, and in 20 years our children can take over and add their 100-year plan to it. If you're a part of an organization not thinking like this, it's wasting time. We're treated as we're treated because we don't have power. So everything we do has to be connected to trying to build power. Everybody is trying to build power. Everybody's trying to take power. Everybody's trying to organize for power, except us, which is why we keep losing. $500 million given to a movie in 1 month. 500 million times 12 is $6 billion with a B. The largest private military in the world was valued at $1 billion last year. If you want to learn more about the Black Gold Movement, go to our main website, blackgoldnation.com. Click on About, read our mission. If the mission gives you the warm and fuzzies as it does me every time I read it or send it to somebody, go to our events website, Black Gold Wakanda Rising. Click on upcoming events, find an event that fits your schedule and RSVP. You need to learn more about what we're doing as an umbrella organization, looking for black people that are already doing something so that we can help them be bigger, better, and stronger. You need to see what we're doing so you can be a part of what we're doing. Because I know of no one that's doing what we're doing the way we are doing it. Yes, there are other nation builders out there, but I don't see them doing what we're doing the way that we're doing. And they very well could be. I don't know. Maybe everything's not public. Like everything we do is not public. I don't know. But I know our solution is based on realistic, time-tested, proven solutions. We have people in this organization that know what they're doing in multiple areas. We have leadership in 14 of 18 areas that know how to push back against threats in 14 areas. And we're looking for interim leadership for the other 4. If you want more information about what we're doing, go to blackonation.com, click on about, read the mission. If the mission confuses you, what are you talking about? What? I don't understand this. Then on the same website, click on why we must build and watch some videos. We have videos laid out, categorized. We must build because of what's been done from slavery, what's been done via slavery. We must build because of what this American government has done. We must build because our people and our children are suffering from PTSD. We must build because food deserts exist and our people are being poisoned. We must build because our children are being targeted for incarceration in a system that's in a for-profit prison system. We've categorized the reasons why we must build. If as a black person in 2019, you don't know, which is absolutely amazing. But hey, not everybody knows. So hopefully after watching some videos, you'll get it. Something will go off with a click. Go back to the events website, Black Gold Wakanda Rising, and RSVP for a presentation. We are serious about what we're doing. We're not wasting time on talking. And we're looking for a black person that has 3 qualities. One, you're still critically thinking. A lot of us have given up and stopped thinking. We can't win. We'll never do it. Why people won't let us, blah, 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 blah. If that's the way you think, go read some books. Learn who you are and who your people are and what we've accomplished. Then come back. Still able to critically think. That's the first thing. Second thing, you're unafraid, or you refuse to allow your fear to stop you from doing. I have passion, empathy, sympathy for a sister that's afraid. But when a brother tells me he's afraid, I feel a certain way about that. I have 3 kids, 22, 21, and 18. I'm getting old. I don't care who you are. I don't care how big you are. Hell, I don't give a damn. If you try and hurt my kids, then we're going to have a problem. I'm going to die trying to protect my children. And most brothers, well, your fear is not going to stop white people from being white. Your fear is not going to stop them from doing what they do. Your fear don't matter. So we're looking for black people that can still critically think, that are unafraid, or won't allow their fear to stop them, and that want to do something. Those 3 things are what we're looking for. If those are the qualities that you have and you want to be about something that's serious, that's moving, that focus on building power, not integrating, not trying to be friends with, not trying to maneuver their political system, we don't have time for that. We've been trying to do that since the mid-60s. Everything that they have given us to do, we've tried to do to move ourselves forward, and it's been unsuccessful because that's not why they allowed you to do it. That's not why it was designed. The system is doing what it's designed to do, which is keep black people in a position of powerlessness. If that's going to change, we have to have our own systems. That's why we have to build our own communities where our people can be physically safe and we can focus on our own systems. I am extremely proud to say I was a member of a black church that understood the power of owning and controlling our own environment and having our own systems. As far as my understanding and my research, the Shrines of the Black Madonna is the only organization. I'm not sure about the Nation of Islam. I haven't fully seen it, but I know for a fact that the Shrines of the Black Madonna had systems, processes, solutions, sciences, things in place to reverse the conditioning process of black people. We've been conditioned to think that we're less than, to think that we're not worthy, to think that we can't do, to think that we can't produce. And it's obvious by the way we live our lives and the way that we operate in America. It's obvious. We see the way that black community looks. And our answer is to beg those that made the community look the way it does. Our answer is to beg them for solutions and answers. We know the way the community looks around the country. We know, but we don't do anything because we don't believe anything that anything can be done. I'm proud to be a member of this organization, but I have to remind our people every single day who are in the movement, and we have some dynamic people in the movement. Look, this is possible. We just need to do these very simple things. But I understand it because we've been conditioned to believe that we can't do, despite the fact that we do. By my count, 74 different times, given all the hell that we were faced with, we've built our own communities. And all of those communities were thriving and moving forward and outperforming white communities, which is why they were destroyed 73 times. So it's not that we can't do, it's that they don't leave us alone long enough to do. And then when we do, through it all, in spite of it all, we still produce on high levels. They get upset, get jealous, and want to burn it down. That doesn't mean we stop producing. That don't mean we stop building. That don't mean we stop trying. That means we do just like everybody else has done. Like the Chinese and the Mormons and the Amish and the Russians and the Germans and the Italians and the French and the Koreans. All of these people have communities here in America. Now, yes, we've gone through things that they have not gone through, so it's going to be a little more difficult for us to do it, but it's a must do. We don't have the luxury not to do. We just need to make sure the next time we do it, and there's going to be a next time, we have layers of security in place so that we can protect it. We can't afford to continually to send our children into anti-black systems we know are anti-black. We keep sending our children into these anti-black systems, and we can wonder why we keep losing. You can't send your child to your oppressor to have him educate, train, and employ and expect to win. That's counterproductive and counter-revolutionary. If we're going to win, we got to do our own thing. Our solutions exist within our problems. Black people in America, just black people in America alone, control a lot of money. We need to give our people something that they can give that money to. They can be a part of, they can believe in, something that they can understand, and they can help build and grow. The Black Gold Movement is an umbrella organization for a reason, because we know black people are already moving. Black people are already doing things. Black people are already thriving and producing on a high level. I talk to black professionals every single day. I communicate with black professionals every single day. A lot of them want to come home because they're tired of white people and white supremacy and racism. But there's no home to come to, so we got to build it. But when we build it, we got to protect it. With $500 million flowing through an organization that only invests in black children and black communities, we have what we need to build it. The question is, are we going to build it? And when we do build it, as we're building it, it's going to be targeted for destruction. That's a given. That's what being black in America is. To be constantly effed with. I'm not sure if my mother's on here, but I can't curse if my mama's on here. I love my mama. We got to do something. And the good news, again, our solutions exist within our problems. What we have to do, black people already know how to do. We just need to find them, bring them under the umbrella, and put them in positions to do. And then we have to protect them for the rest of their lives, because they will be seen as a threat for trying to organize black people. It's what happens. You can trace the history, the leadership of this country from the time it was founded to now. You can trace the leadership from George Washington to now. You can trace the leadership. You cannot do that with black leadership without involving local law enforcement, the FBI, and the CIA, because they exile, or they force our leadership into exile. They incarcerate and they assassinate our leadership. Frightening reality, but it is what it is. You being afraid don't change that. You putting your head in the sand doesn't change that. You ignoring all of the writing on the wall doesn't change that. You ignoring all the facts and the data doesn't change that. We've been through the fire. No one has gone through it like we have. And here we are. Broken, not whole, not unscathed, but we're here. And we're not only here, but a lot of us are still functioning and producing on an extremely high level. Black genes exist. Our children exhibit black genius. If we don't go get them and put them in a system that's pro-black, that's going to protect them from all the anti-blackness that's out there, they're going to be chewed up and spit out by an anti-black system that's proven they don't care about you. We have gone through 400 actual and over 3,000 cumulative years of anti-black acts of terror. That's American history. And the fact that most of us don't know it is the problem. If that's going to change, it's going to be us that changes it. So again, blackgoldnation.com, click on the about, read the mission. If you like it, go to Black Gold Wakanda Rising RSVP for a presentation. If it confuses you, from the same website, blackgoldnation.com, click on Why We Must Build, watch some videos, educate yourself, and come back and watch the presentation. If you want to support us right now, we have two ways you can do that. You can become a supporting member or an ambassador. Go to the events website, Black Gold Wakanda Rising, click on support, and scroll down to that subscribe button. $4 a month is all we ask for all we ask of our supporting members. Some people give more, but no one gives less. That is the base minimum, $4 a month. And most of us waste that every other day. If you want to support us in another way, on the main website, blackgoldnation.com, click on shop and buy a t-shirt, buy a hoodie. We're aggressively trying to raise money right now for our digital media network. We want to have a soft launch next month, which is tomorrow, by the middle of next month, which starts tomorrow. We want to have a soft launch with our first show, getting out there doing things, because we got to have our own media. If you want to help us with that, you can directly invest, or you can just buy a t-shirt, because the profits go toward that first big initiative, which is us having our own digital media network. But most importantly, it's not the money, although we need the money. Don't get me wrong, because we got to have our own security stuff, as I've been saying. But most important is your time, your intellectual energy, your intellectual capital, because we'll get the money. The money's not the issue. The money is having the issue is having the right people that's going to bring the money, as well as the energy and the capital. But again, every single thing we need, we already have. We just need to be on the same page as we move forward. So let me make sure that I don't have any questions real quick while I get off this thing. Thank you, Brother Vic, for making it. Sister Auntie, thank you. Chinzira, thank you for making it. Brother Darice, thank you. Brother James, thank you for making it. Sister Leela, thank you. Brother Ricardo says to sign up for a presentation that you can ask questions and receive answers on a live video conference call. Click on the link on schedule. Click on the link and schedule it now. Thank you, Brother Ricardo, for having my back. Funi Karima, thank you for making it. Brother Parker, thank you. Brother Michael, thank you. Brother Ronald, thank you. Brother Curtis, thank you. Sister Jennifer, thank you for making it. Sister Tuweri, wonderful, beautiful sister, helped raise my children. in a 100% black owned and controlled environment. I'm telling you, community is the bomb, which is why we got to get it back. Sister Nikki, thank you for making it. Brother Michael, thank you. Brother Marvin, thank you. King Eddie, thank you for making it. Brother Terry, thank you. Brother Marvin says, truth, amen, I try. Sister Regina, thank you for making it. Brother Stephen, thank you. Brother Calvin. Brother Roz, thank you. Brother Anthony, thank you. Brother Roz says, gives me a black power phrase. My mama. My mama said, together we stand, divided we fall. I love my mama. Brother Marvin says, the spider knows his food chain survival, quote unquote, depends upon him, her building the web. If we tear it down, he rebuilds it. We need to develop the spider mentality. Amen, Brother Marvin. We need to develop the spider mentality and understand that no matter what he does to destroy our web, we have to continually, constantly rebuild that web, because we need that web to survive. And I would even say we need to be both like the spider and the ant, because sometimes our mound have to have underground tunnels because he's crafty. So we have to understand what we're dealing with and know who we're dealing with. It's sad, the things that have happened to black people at the hands of white people in this country. It is very sad. And it's not going to change unless we change it. We have to give them reasons to leave the community, because they understand that this group of black people, this community is different. So we better take our crap somewhere else. You have to meet force with force. And if you're afraid to do that, then your job can be to hand the fly swatter to the person whose job is it to swat the flies, if you're afraid to swat the fly yourself. Not everybody's afraid. Not everybody is not critically thinking. Not everyone is afraid to organize. Not everyone is afraid to go toe to toe with those that are trying to destroy our children. A lot of us know things that we need to do to protect our communities. A lot of us have been trained by the military, by the government. A lot of us train ourselves. We have to get serious about what we're up against, because Our lack of seriousness does not change what we're up against. And we have to get serious about those that are organizing against us. Unfortunately, we're born into a war that we're 200 plus years behind on preparing for. We have to convince our people that we're in a war and that a war is going on. A purge might be happening. But we also have to organize ourselves to fight on multiple fronts in this war that we're born into. And none of that is going to change because you're afraid or you don't want to acknowledge the facts or you want to put your head in the sand. It is what it is. And it's going to be what it is unless we change it. So thank you guys for making the live broadcast. I appreciate it. Remember two things. Always remember that no one can do everything. But if everyone does something, everything will get done. And absolutely always remember that nothing is more sacred than the liberation and salvation of Black people. So thank you guys very much. Have a wonderful day. God bless. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.